First contact and conflict. The star-filled expanse of space shimmered with an eerie calm as the UES Defiant, Earth's most advanced exploration vessel, glided silently through the void. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes scanning the redouts before her. After months of travel, they had finally reached the edge of unexplored space. "Captain, we're picking up an anomalous energy signature," Lieutenant Raj Patel reported, his fingers dancing across the sensor controls. "It's like nothing we've ever seen before." Chen leaned forward, her interest peaked. On screen, the main view screen flickered to life, revealing a massive structure floating in space. It was clearly artificial, its sleek curves and glowing energy conduits a stark contrast to the natural beauty of the surrounding stars. "My God," Chen breathed. First contact. As the crew marveled at the alien megastructure, a blinding flash of light erupted from its surface. Before anyone could react, a wave of energy washed over the Defiant, shorting out systems and sending the ship spinning out of control. "Report," Chen shouted, clinging to her chair as alarms blared throughout the vessel. "We've lost main power and propulsion," Paddle responded, his voice tight with tension. "Weapons and shields are offline. We're sitting ducks, Captain." Chen gritted her teeth, her mind racing. They had come seeking peaceful exploration, but it seemed the universe had other plans. As the Defiant drifted helplessly, a massive alien warship emerged from behind the megastructure, its weapons trained on the human vessel. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the UES Defiant," she broadcast on all frequencies. "We come in peace. Please respond." The alien ship's response came in the form of a tractor beam, pulling the Defiant inexorably towards its cavernous docking bay. As they were drawn in, Chen could see dozens of smaller craft swarming around them, their designs as alien as they were menacing. "All hands, prepare for boarding," Chen ordered, her voice steady despite the fear gnawing at her gut. "Let's show these aliens what humanity is made of." The Defiant shuddered as it was locked into place within the alien vessel. Moments later, the sound of cutting torches filled the air as the invaders began to force their way through the airlock. Chen and her security team took up defensive positions, their pulse rifles charged and ready. With a hiss of escaping air, the airlock burst open. Towering, insectoid creatures poured through the breach, their chitinous armor gleaming under the emergency lights. Chen opened fire, her team following suit, but their weapons seemed to have little effect on the alien invaders. "Fall back," Chen shouted, realizing the futility of their stand. "Get to the escape pods." As they retreated through the corridors of the Defiant, Chen's mind raced. Who were these hostile aliens? What did they want? And more importantly, how could humanity hope to stand against such advanced technology? The ship's AI, Araya, spoke through Chen's comm unit. "Captain, I've analyzed the alien language from their transmissions. They call themselves the Zarkax Imperium. They seem to view us as inferior beings to be conquered." Chen's jaw clenched as she ushered her crew into the escape pods. "Not if I have anything to say about it," she muttered. As the last of the crew jettisoned to safety, Chen made her way to the engine room. If the Zarkax wanted the Defiant, she'd make sure they paid a heavy price for it. With Araya's help, she initiated an overload in the antimatter reactor. "You have 3 minutes to reach minimum safe distance, Captain," Araya warned. Chen sprinted to her personal shuttle, launching away from the doomed Defiant just as the Zarkax forces reached the engine room. She watched through the view screen as her ship erupted in a blinding explosion, taking the significant portion of the alien vessel with it. As Chen plotted a course back to Earth, her determination solidified into iron resolve. Humanity had stumbled onto a galactic stage far larger and more dangerous than they had ever imagined. But they would not go quietly into the night. The Zarkax had made a grave mistake in underestimating human ingenuity and courage. "Arae," Chen said, her voice steady, "set a course for Earth. We need to warn them. The war for our survival begins now." As her shuttle disappeared into the depths of space, Chen knew that the future of humanity hung in the balance. The aliens might have superior technology, but humans had something they lacked: an indomitable spirit and the will to fight against all odds. The Zarkax would soon learn that humanity was not to be trifled with. The stars streaked by as Chen's shuttle raced towards Earth, carrying with it the dire news of humanity's first contact and the looming threat of the Zarkax Imperium. The galaxy had changed forever, and humanity would need to adapt quickly if it hoped to survive the coming storm. Human ingenuity unleashed. The United Earth Defense Council chamber buzzed with tension as Captain Sarah Chen finished her report. The holographic displays showed the devastating power of the Zarkax weapons, and the faces of the council members were grim. Admiral Zhao, a battle-hardened veteran, spoke first. "This is a threat unlike anything we've faced. Our current technology is no match for theirs." Dr. Ilara Vance, head of Earth's Advanced Research Division, leaned forward. "Then we'll just have to innovate faster than they can conquer." "Captain Chen, you mentioned their shield technology was particularly advanced." Chen nodded. "Our weapons couldn't penetrate them. It was like hitting a wall of pure energy." Vance's eyes lit up with the fire of scientific challenge. "Give me 3 months. I think I have an idea." As the council debated strategy, reports began flooding in from Earth's outer colonies. The Zarkax were on the move, their massive fleets sweeping through human space with terrifying efficiency. In the following weeks, humanity's greatest minds worked tirelessly. Dr. Vance's team made breakthrough after breakthrough, reverse engineering alien tech from the scans Chen had managed to take during her encounter. Meanwhile, Chen found herself promoted to admiral, tasked with organizing Earth's defense fleet. She worked closely with tacticians and engineers, developing new strategies to combat the overwhelming Zarkax forces. Exactly 3 months after the council meeting, Dr. Vance called for a demonstration. The Earth's leaders gathered at a remote testing facility, their faces a mix of hope and skepticism. "Ladies and gentlemen," Vance announced, her voice crackling with excitement, "I give you Project Prometheus." A sleek, experimental ship rose from its underground hangar. It looked unlike any human vessel they'd seen before, its hull shimmering with an otherworldly glow. "We've managed to replicate and improve upon the Zarkax shield technology," Vance explained. "But that's not all. Admiral Chen, if you would." Chen stepped forward, activating a holographic display. "We've also developed a new type of weapon. We call it the quantum disruptor. It doesn't just penetrate shields, it temporarily destabilizes the very fabric of space-time around its target." The council watched in awe as the experimental ship decimated holographic representations of Zarkax vessels. For the first time since the invasion began, a glimmer of hope shone in their eyes. Admiral Zhao nodded approvingly. "How soon can we begin mass production?" "That's the challenge," Vance admitted. "The materials required are extremely rare. We'll need to launch deep space mining operations to gather enough." Chen's mind raced with the tactical implications. "We'll need to buy time. Hit-and-run attacks, guerrilla warfare on a cosmic scale." As the meeting concluded, Chen found herself walking alongside Dr. Vance. The scientist's eyes were dark with worry. "Admiral, there's something I didn't mention in there. The quantum disruptor. Its effects are devastating, but unpredictable. We're playing with forces we barely understand." Chen placed a hand on Vance's shoulder. "Sometimes, to survive, we have to take risks. You've given us a fighting chance, Doctor. Now it's up to us to use it wisely." Over the next few months, humanity's resistance took shape. Small, swift ships armed with prototype weapons harassed Zarkax supply lines. Human colonies transformed into fortresses, their populations working tirelessly to produce the ships and weapons needed for the war effort. Chen found herself at the forefront of this new kind of warfare. Her flagship, the UES Phoenix, darted from system to system, striking at Zarkax weak points and vanishing before retaliation could come. During one such raid, Chen's tactical officer, Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka, spotted an anomaly. "Admiral, I'm detecting unusual energy readings from that Zarkax cruiser. It doesn't match anything we've seen before." Chen's instincts screamed danger. "All ships, fall back. Emergency jump." The Phoenix and its escorts vanished into hyperspace just as the Zarkax cruiser exploded in a burst of multidimensional energy. When they emerged, Chen's worst fears were confirmed. 2 of her ships hadn't made it. "They're adapting," Chen muttered, her fists clenched. "We need to push harder, think smarter." Back on Earth, Dr. Vance and her team worked feverishly to unlock more secrets of the Zarkax technology. Each breakthrough brought new hope, but also new challenges. As Chen pored over battle reports in her quarters, a priority message came through. It was from Admiral Zhao. "Chen, we've decrypted some Zarkax communications. There's something big coming, something they call the Singularity. Whatever it is, we need to stop it." Chen's mind raced with possibilities. Was this the Zarkax endgame? A super weapon capable of wiping out humanity once and for all. She opened a channel to Dr. Vance. "Doctor, how close are we to completing the next phase of Project Prometheus?" Vance's hologram flickered to life, her expression grim but determined. "We're close, Admiral. But we're going to need something we don't have. Something that only the Zarkax possess." Chen nodded, understanding the implication. They needed to capture a Zarkax ship intact. It was a mission that bordered on suicide, but the fate of humanity hung in the balance. "Assemble a strike team," Chen ordered. "We're going hunting." As the Phoenix prepared for its most dangerous mission yet, Chen couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and fear. Humanity had come so far in so little time, pushing the boundaries of science and courage. But would it be enough to stop the Zarkax and their mysterious singularity? The answer, Chen knew, lay in the cold depths of space, where the fate of galaxies would be decided by the ingenuity and determination of the human spirit. Alliance and betrayal. The UES Phoenix hung silently in the shadow of a gas giant, its advanced stealth systems rendering it nearly invisible to both sensors and the naked eye. Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the tactical display, showing a massive Zarkax research vessel slowly making its way through the system. "All teams, report in," Chen ordered, her voice low and tense. "Alpha Team ready," came the response from Major Dontkraz, leader of the Marine Assault Force. "Beta Team standing by," Dr. Ilara Vance replied. The scientist had insisted on joining the mission, arguing that her expertise would be crucial in understanding and potentially disabling Zarkax systems. Chen took a deep breath. Execute Operation Trojan Horse. The Phoenix's newly developed phase drive activated, temporarily shifting the ship out of normal spacetime. They rematerialized inside the Zarkax vessel's hangar bay, catching the alien crew completely off guard. Alarms blared as Chen's strike team poured out of the Phoenix, engaging the Zarkax defenders in close-quarters combat. The humans' new phase rifles proved devastatingly effective, bypassing alien shields and armor. "Push forward." Major Cruz shouted over the comm. "We need to secure the bridge and engineering." As the battle raged through the alien ship's corridors, Dr. Vance worked feverishly to interface with the Zarkax systems. "Admiral," she called out, her voice filled with urgency, "I'm picking up some sort of distress signal. It's not Zarkax." Before Chen could respond, a new voice crackled over the comms. "Alien, yet somehow familiar. Humans, cease your attack. We are not your enemy." The fighting slowly died down as confusion spread through both human and Zarkax ranks. Chen cautiously made her way to the ship's bridge, where she found herself face to face with a being unlike any she had encountered before. The alien was tall and slender, with iridescent skin and large expressive eyes. It regarded Chen with a mixture of fear and hope. "I am Zarilian, last surviving member of the Zarkax resistance. We've been waiting for an opportunity like this for centuries. Over the next few hours, As Chen's team secured the ship, Zarlian revealed a shocking truth. The Zarkax Imperium was not a unified empire, but a tyrannical regime that had conquered and enslaved dozens of species, including their own rebels. The singularity, Zarlian explained, is not a weapon, but a gateway. The Imperium's leaders plan to use it to bring through an even more powerful race of conquerors from another dimension. If they succeed, not just humanity, but the entire galaxy will fall. Chen's mind reeled at the implications. Why tell us this? Why help us? Zarlian's large eyes seemed to shimmer with emotion. Because we've seen your kind's potential, your adaptability, your creativity. They terrify the Imperium. We believe that together, we might have a chance to stop them. As Chen considered the alien's words, Dr. Vance burst onto the bridge, her face pale. "Admiral, you need to see this." She pulled up a holographic display, showing a massive structure taking shape in a distant system. This is the singularity, and according to these files, it's nearly operational. Chen's jaw clenched. They were running out of time. "Zarlian, if we agree to this alliance, what can you offer us?" The alien resistance member straightened, a look of determination crossing its features. "Knowledge, Admiral. The location of hidden Zarkax outposts, weaknesses in their defenses, and most importantly, the key to shutting down the singularity." It was a risk, trusting this unknown alien. But as Chen looked around at her team, at the humans, and Zarkax, who had just moments ago been locked in mortal combat, she realized that sometimes survival depended on taking chances. "Very well," Chen said, extending her hand to Zarlian. "Let's show the Imperium what happens when they underestimate the power of unity." The journey back to Earth was tense, filled with hurried preparations and strategy sessions. The UES Phoenix, now carrying a mixed crew of humans and Zarkax resistance members, became a symbol of an unlikely alliance. However, not everyone was convinced. When they arrived at Earth, Chen found herself facing a skeptical Defense Council. This could be an elaborate trap, Admiral Zhao argued, his face stern. "How can we trust the word of a single alien?" Chen stood her ground. "With respect, sir, we don't have the luxury of mistrust. The singularity is real, and it's a threat to everyone, human, Zarkax, and every other species in this galaxy." As the debate raged on, Dr. Vance worked tirelessly with Zarlian and other resistance members, combining human ingenuity with Zarkax knowledge to upgrade their weapons and defenses. Finally, a decision was reached. Humanity would throw its lot in with the Zarkax resistance, mounting a desperate assault on the singularity before it could be activated. As the combined fleet prepared for what could be its final battle, Chen couldn't shake a sense of unease. They were about to face the full might of the Zarkax Imperium, and even with their new allies, victory was far from certain. Her fears proved prophetic when, on the eve of their departure, alarms blared throughout the Earth defense grid. A massive Zarkax fleet had somehow slipped past their early warning systems and was now bearing down on the planet. As chaos erupted and ships scrambled to defend Earth, Chen received a chilling message from Zarlian. "Admiral, we've been betrayed. Someone in your government has been feeding information to the Imperium." Chen's blood ran cold as she realized the implications. The attack on Earth was a diversion, meant to delay their assault on the singularity. Even worse, there was a traitor in their midst, someone willing to sacrifice humanity for their own gain. As the first shots of the battle were fired, Chen knew that the true test of this newfound alliance was about to begin. With Earth under siege and time running out to stop the singularity, the fate of the galaxy would be decided in the crucible of war. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath as humanity and their alien allies prepared to make their final stand against the tyranny of the Zarkax Imperium. The final stand. The space around Earth erupted into chaos as the combined human and Zarkax resistance fleet engaged the Imperium forces. Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the UES Phoenix, her face illuminated by the flashes of weapons fire visible through the view screen. "Status report," Chen barked, her eyes scanning the tactical displays. Lieutenant Tanaka's fingers flew over her console. "Earth's defensive grid is holding for now, but the Imperium's numbers are overwhelming. We're detecting multiple breaches in our lines." Chen's jaw clenched. They needed to break through to the singularity, but abandoning Earth was not an option. She opened a channel to the entire fleet. "All ships, this is Admiral Chen. Form up on the Phoenix. We're punching a hole through their lines." As the Allied fleet maneuvered into position, Chen turned to Zarillian. "Now would be a good time for one of those Zarkak's secret weapons you mentioned." The alien resistance leader nodded, its iridescent skin shimmering with tension. "Activating the phase disruptors now." Suddenly, a wave of energy pulsed out from the resistance ships. Where it touched the Imperium vessels, their shields flickered and failed, leaving them vulnerable to the Allies' weapons. "All ships, concentrate fire on the weak points," Chen ordered. The space around them lit up with a furious barrage as human and resistance vessels unleashed everything they had. For a moment, it seemed like they might break through. But then, a massive Imperium dreadnought emerged from hyperspace, its weapons already charging. "Evasive maneuvers," Chen shouted, but it was too late. The dreadnought's main cannon fired, cutting through Allied ships like they were made of paper. As alarms blared and damage reports flooded in, Chen realized they were fighting a losing battle. She turned to Dr. Vance, who was working furiously at a nearby console. "Doctor, please tell me you have something." Vance looked up, her eyes bright with a mix of fear and excitement. "I think I've identified the traitor, Admiral. The transmission logs point to Admiral Zhao." Chen felt as if she'd been punched in the gut. Zhao, one of Earth's most decorated officers, a traitor. But as she processed the information, pieces started falling into place. Zhao's reluctance to trust the resistance, his strategic mistakes that always seemed to favor the Imperium. "Can you lock him out of our systems?" Chen asked, her mind racing. Vance nodded. "Already done. But Admiral, there's something else. I've been analyzing the singularity data, and I think I've found a way to turn it against the Imperium." As Vance explained her plan, Chen felt a glimmer of hope. It was risky, borderline suicidal, but it might be their only chance. "Lieutenant Tanaka, set a course for the singularity," Chen ordered, "and send a message to Earth. Tell them to hold on. We're going to end this." The Phoenix and a small escort of ships broke away from the main battle, racing towards the coordinates of the singularity. Behind them, Earth's defenders fought valiantly against the Imperium onslaught. As they approached their target, the true scale of the singularity became apparent. It was a massive structure, a swirling vortex of energy that seemed to twist the very fabric of space around it. "My God," Tanaka whispered. "How are we supposed to stop that?" Chen turned to Vance and Zarillian. "You're up. Do whatever you need to do." The scientist and the alien resistance leader worked in perfect sync, their fingers dancing over the controls as they interfaced with the singularity systems. Suddenly, a familiar voice crackled over the comms. "I'm disappointed in you, Chen." It was Admiral Zhao. "You could have been part of something greater. Instead, you cling to your outdated notions of freedom and self-determination." "Why, Zhao?" Chen demanded. "How could you betray everything we stand for?" "Betray?" Zhao scoffed. "I'm saving humanity. The Imperium offered us a place in their new order. We could have ruled the galaxy together." As Zhao spoke, Chen noticed Imperium ships closing in on their position. "Whatever you're going to do," she said to Vance and Zarillian, "do it fast." Vance's face was a mask of concentration. "Almost there. We're going to invert the singularity's polarity. Instead of bringing through the Imperium's allies, it'll create a massive gravity well. But Admiral, we'll be caught in it too." Chen nodded grimly. "Do it." As Vance activated the sequence, the space around them seemed to warp and twist. The Singularity's swirling vortex changed color, from a malevolent red to a deep, pulsing blue. "It's working," Zarlian exclaimed. "The Imperium ships are being pulled in." Chen watched as enemy vessels, caught off guard by the sudden shift, were dragged inexorably towards the Singularity. But the Phoenix and its escorts were not immune to the effect. "All hands, brace for impact," Chen shouted as her ship was pulled towards the swirling vortex of energy. As they crossed the event horizon, Chen's last thought was of Earth, and the hope that their sacrifice would be enough to save it. Then, everything went white. A new galactic order. Consciousness returned to Admiral Sarah Chen in waves, each bringing with it a new sensation of discomfort. She blinked, her vision slowly focusing on the worried face of Dr. Elara Vance hovering above her. "Welcome back, Admiral," Vance said, relief evident in her voice. "For a while there, we weren't sure you'd make it." Chen tried to sit up, wincing at the pain that shot through her body. "The Singularity, did it work?" Vance nodded, helping Chen to her feet. "See for yourself." As Chen's eyes adjusted, she realized they were no longer on the Phoenix. Instead, they stood in what appeared to be a massive alien control room. Through a panoramic window, she could see the remnants of the Singularity, now a swirling mass of energy and debris. "Where are we?" Chen asked, her voice hoarse. "The Imperium's command station," Zarlian answered, approaching from a nearby console. "When we inverted the Singularity, it didn't just destroy the Imperium fleet. It transported us, and a significant portion of both our forces, to this location." Chen's mind raced with the implications. "And the Imperium?" "In disarray," Zarlian replied, a note of satisfaction in its voice. "With their leadership decimated and their ultimate weapon turned against them, their hold on the galaxy is crumbling." As Chen processed this information, a familiar face caught her eye. Admiral Zhao, looking considerably worse for wear, was being held under guard by a group of human and Zarkax resistance fighters. Chen approached him, her expression a mix of anger and pity. "Was it worth it, Zhao? Betraying everything we stood for?" Zhao met her gaze, defiance still burning in his eyes. "You don't understand, Chen. The Imperium would have crushed us eventually. I was trying to secure humanity's future by sacrificing its soul." Chen shook her head. "Take him away. He'll stand trial for his actions." As Zhao was led away, Chen turned her attention to the matter at hand. The Imperium might be in chaos, but that didn't mean the danger was over. There was a power vacuum now, and nature abhorred a vacuum. Over the next few weeks, as ships from Earth and other liberated worlds arrived at the command station, Chen found herself at the center of a whirlwind of diplomacy and strategic planning. Representatives from dozens of species, all former victims of the Imperium's tyranny, gathered to discuss the future of the galaxy. It wasn't easy. Centuries of oppression had left deep scars, and trust was in short supply. But slowly, painstakingly, a new vision began to take shape. "We propose a galactic alliance," Chen announced to the assembled delegates, her voice carrying across the vast chamber. "Not an empire, not a tyranny, but a coalition of free worlds. Each member would maintain its sovereignty, but together we would stand against any threat that seeks to dominate or oppress." The chamber erupted in discussion, some voices raised in support, others in skepticism. Chen shared a look with Zarlian, who nodded encouragingly. "I know many of you have suffered at the hands of the Imperium," Chen continued, "but look at what we've accomplished by working together. Humans, Zarkax, and countless other species, united against a common foe. Imagine what we could achieve in peace." As the debate raged on, Dr. Vance approached Chen. "Admiral, we've finished analyzing the Imperium's database. The technological advancements here, they're beyond anything we've ever seen. With this knowledge, we could usher in a new era of prosperity for all species." Chen nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "Then let's make sure we use it wisely. No more weapons of mass destruction. No more tools of oppression. Let's build something better. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Slowly but surely, the Galactic Alliance took shape. Former enemies became allies, pooling their resources and knowledge to rebuild what the Imperium had destroyed. Earth, once a backwater planet on the fringes of galactic society, now stood as a symbol of resilience and hope. The humans' ability to adapt and innovate in the face of overwhelming odds had earned them the respect of species far more advanced than themselves. As Chen stood on the observation deck of the newly christened Alliance headquarters, watching ships from 100 different worlds come and go, she felt a sense of awe at how far they'd come. "Quite a view, isn't it?" Zarlian said, joining her at the window. Chen nodded. "I never imagined we'd end up here when we first encountered the Imperium. We've lost so much, but gained even more. The road ahead won't be easy," Zarlian cautioned. "There are still Imperium loyalists out there, and other threats we haven't even discovered yet." "True," Chen agreed. "But whatever comes, we'll face it together. That's the real legacy of this war, not the technology we've gained or the enemies we've defeated, but the bonds we forged." As if to emphasize her point, an alert chimed on her comm device. Dr. Vance's excited voice came through. "Admiral, you need to see this. We've made a breakthrough in faster-than-light communication. This could revolutionize how the Alliance operates." Chen smiled, sharing a knowing look with Zarlian. The future was uncertain, filled with both promise and peril, but as long as they held on to the spirit of cooperation and innovation that had brought them this far, there was hope. "Well," Chen said, straightening her uniform, "shall we see what new wonders await us?" Together, the human admiral and the Zarkak's resistance leader walked towards the future they had fought so hard to secure. The stars stretched out before them, no longer a battlefield, but a frontier of endless possibility. As they left the observation deck, Chen's final thought was of the long journey that had brought them here. From first contact to final victory, humanity had proven its worth among the stars. And whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew they would face them with the same determination, creativity, and unity that had carried them through the darkest of times. The galaxy would never be the same, and neither would they.